Call the Kitty Hawk Town Council to order this Monday, August 2nd, 2021, Kitty Hawk Town Hall. It's now 6 p.m. Our legal attorney is not here yet, but I understand he's on the way, trying to find some car keys or something. All right. Would you join us for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, I'm going to make a motion to approve the agenda, but pull item 8 from the agenda. That was going to be consideration of Councilman Hines for Recreation Committee liaison. We've had some changes there, so we'll discuss that at a different date. It's not that important, and I'll stay on that until December, whatever happens there. All right, so I made a motion to approve the amended agenda. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right, we did presentations for the camera. Now we do presentations for the actual thing. Are you doing?
Council, the mayor, is Sharon Davenport. All I can say is the foundation of the department. Started in 1996, right before we moved into our current location. And I just learned something new today, that not only was she hired as a records clerk when she came on when we moved into the current location, police department, she also was assigned to paint and trim at the police department. They found out she could paint, so she came on as a trim painter, because it was all hands on deck when we moved into the current location with the remodel of the old post office. Sharon started out as data entry, and through the years, obviously she is excelled in her position. I would roughly, if I had to estimate, I would say, definitely well over 10,000 documents are entered in a year by Sharon. She helps me with the budget. She sets all the new employees up with the computer system. She manages our in-car computers, our in-house computers, all of our training. She handles all the budget files, documents, personnel files, medical files, training files. Could go on and on and on. But one thing that she does do good is she cooks very, very good chocolate chip cookies. And on special occasions, she brings them to us. I've taken numerous bundles home, and the way she bundles them for everyone, she always recognizes everyone on their birthday. She makes cakes on special occasions. And occasionally we'll get treated to her homemade spaghetti. And she brings a big pot of spaghetti in. And Sharon, thank you for everything you do for me and the department and the town.
Thank you, council, for all you do for the town employees. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it's appreciated.
Thank you.
Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Sharon, I have a question. Based upon what the police chief just said you do, what the hell do they do? Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Next, we have Joel Johnson, who has 20 years of service. When did you realize you was getting old?
Well, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. To my left, I have Chief Joel Johnson. I remember standing here when I was only had 1 year on the job. Now that I have 6, when we were recognizing him for 15 years of service. But I've gotten to know Joel a little bit over the past 5 years, and so I probably have a little bit more to say about you now. All good things, of course. Chief Johnson, he started his career in Killable Hills in 1989, and he came to the town of Kitty Hawk in 1999 as a patrol officer. He worked his way through the ranks and was promoted to sergeant in 2007, and in 2012 was promoted to chief of police. So I guess as you got older, from 1989, you got a little wiser and decided to come to the right place. Just for comparison purposes, the national average for being a chief of police is 3 years, and that's really just 2.5 to 3 years. So Chief Johnson has been chief in our town for 9 years, so 3 times the national average. So you just know how stressful of a job it is to be a chief of police. He has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and he's a graduate of the FBI National Academy. He's also a certified criminal justice instructor and firearms instructor. During his years of service for the police department, he's gotten the department many grants that have gone to purchase body cameras and other protective equipment for his officers. Most importantly, he's always been a big advocate of ensuring the department's policies and procedures are up to date to protect both the officers and the general public. And as you know, law enforcement nowadays is a high liability business. And so Joel is constantly, once a week, having me sign some policy. I read them half the time he tells me what they say, and I just sign them. So I know he's constantly working on that. These are about 1,000 pages of policies, and Councilmember Garris will attest to that there's just a policy for everything in the police department. So I've had the privilege to work with Joel for the past 6 years. He's one of these guys that wears his heart on his sleeve when serving the public and cares about his officers, employees, and people of Kitty Hawk. There are many things the chief does that we do not hear about, such as I know he calls a lot of, if there's someone that is deceased in the town of Kitty Hawk or there's an accident of some sort, Joel always reaches out a lot of times to those families and offers assistance and his condolences, and that's something that we don't hear about on a daily basis. His job is oftentimes easily politicized given the nature of his business. However, I found our chief, he's always remained composed and focused on finding the truth that all matters. So, Joel, congratulations on 20 years, and hope to see you another 20 years.
Thank you all. Appreciate you having the trust and confidence in me and carry the town and the tourists too, and the visitors. I'll be here for a little bit longer. I'd like to see a new police department before I go. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay, stop building that building.
All right, next we have public comment. Lynn, anybody sign? I'm sorry?
Mr. Basquiat.
Okay, come on up, Mr. Basquiat.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Curtis Basquiat, live at 3605 Rabbit Hollow. I have been before the town council for 30 years now, same subject. So I'm back one more time. Very disappointed when we thought we had a fix for the flooding problem up around the West Takeway area. Understand one of the neighbors had issues with it, and your attorney recommended that the project be abandoned. I got a letter telling me that that had happened right after this past November from the attorney, from Mr. Stewart. And he said it was several issues raised, and that was the reason the project was abandoned. Well, I was recently, a month ago or so ago, I sent him a letter saying, I need to know exactly what the reasons were. Not so much the reasons the adjacent property owner may have had issues, but what was the reason the town had, or reasons, for abandoning the project? You know, we, the residents, both residential and commercial properties, still want to get that problem fixed. We don't know what the reasons were for abandoning the project. We'd like to continue to work towards a solution. I've already talked to the Dare County Commissioners. They have agreed to work with us to pursue state involvement in the project. I would like to think that the town would participate in that to try to come up with the final piece of the puzzle that Senator Bass Knight started years and years ago. when everything was being flooded, ocean overwash, rainwater runoff, causing flooding problems, he came down here, he met with the town, and they came up with, and he said, fix these issues. Every one of them has been fixed, except for the West Takeway area. I think it's in everybody's interest we fix this last piece of the puzzle. So what I'm asking is two things. I'd like to know what the reasons are the town decided to abandon the project, other than just tell me it was issues raised by a property owner. I'd like to know why the town abandoned the project. And I'd like to know if you would participate with the residents to kind of try to come and identify a solution to our problem. Okay? I'm not saying I'm asking you to commit any resources other than to work with us to kind of try to come up with a solution. So I'll leave you those two questions. I asked this about a month ago and I haven't heard anything. So tonight I hope that you will follow up and decide to work with us to, I don't want to be here another 30 years facing you all trying to fix this one little problem. But anyway, looking for your support, anxious to hear from you.
All right. I thought we had answered the second time. Did that not go to him yet?
Are you referring to?
The attorney was going to,
Basically, the attorney responded in the original letter. Do you have that letter on you?
I have the letter right here.
And that was the response.
and that was it?
That was it.
Okay.
And I
So,
asked him if we could provide a letter from the property owner's attorney, and he said that's not public record.
okay. All right.
That was the last follow-up.
All right.
of that.
Well, I'll get with you and we'll find out what we can respond to. There is an answer to your question about why the town stopped. I'm not sure what I can legally say in a public spot until I get with the attorney.
Well, I don't know how the local residents can address the problem if you won't share with us what the issue is the town has.
Well, I thought we had, but we'll
All it says
go
there
from
was
here.
Several issues, it doesn't say what they were.
All right.
Okay? Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Lynn?
No one else has signed up.
All right. Does anyone else in the audience wish to speak on any matter? All right. Let the record show no one came forward. Do I hear a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Does it have a second?
Second?
All right. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. All right, we didn't have anything removed, so we had new business removed, so that no longer counts. So we're already down to reports, general comments from town manager. Nothing?
No comment.
All right. We don't have the town attorney, so we don't have anything from him. Town council. Jeff?
Well, I know we brought it up, I know that probably some of our lifeguards are heading back, and we know that they've done a really fantastic job. I know Craig brought it up, and I've been there a few times recently, and their courtesy and the way that they're handling our lifeguard service over at the beach is quite remarkable. And I'd just like to thank them and hope they come back next year.
Those are all, our lifeguards, none of those are J students.
No, I don't think so.
And that's turned out to be good for us because Nags Head and others had a bad model this year. All right, David?
I don't have a whole lot. If we get short-staffed, we can get Jimmy to step in as a lifeguard. He's worked in duck for years, so we have reserves.
All right.
No, I'm good. That's it for me this evening.
All right, Lynn?
I have nothing other than amazed that we have, Sharon has 25 years with us. And very pleased that she is not going to be leaving us next week. And Joel also, that was good to hear that he wants to see the police station. So I think maybe we ought to slow down progress on the police station. Other than that, the summer is going very well. Hope everybody's enjoying the heat, and we'll be sorry it's gone in January.
Congratulations again to Sharon Davenport and Chief Johnson, and it was very nice to see their families here tonight to sharing that recognition. I really like that. That's all.
That's always good. And I will add a comment for Chief Johnson. Our police department does reach out, and they look towards as much sympathy as they do discipline. And not all police departments do that. So we're blessed in that respect, both in the leadership and in the people that are actually doing the job. So I thank all of them for that. I don't have anything else. If no one else, anything else, I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done.